I'm Janice Edwards. Coming up on Bay Area Vista, we are on location for the 20th Anniversary Gala celebration for Friends of Faith, the organization founded by Faith Fancher, a KTVU reporter who was inspirational to so many as she battled breast cancer. It's an amazing show coming up, lots of familiar faces. Join us, that's next.
Bay Area Vista, Vista. Bay Area, Bay Area Vista, Vista. Bay Area.
Welcome to Bay Area Vista. I'm Janice Edwards, and today is a very special show celebrating the 20th Anniversary Gala of Friends of Faith. In 1997, KTVU reporter Faith Fancher founded this organization because she had been diagnosed with breast cancer and she wanted to boost awareness by bringing together her sisters in media to help spread the word and also raise funds for others battling the disease. In 2003, our friend Faith lost her battle, but her legacy has continued through Friends of Faith, and now it will continue through the Faith Fancher Emergency Breast Cancer Fund. This is a celebration of Faith's life and her legacy. Enjoy our show. Cheryl Hurd is, of course, known to Bay Area viewers from NBC Bay Area, where we were colleagues for years, also founding members of Friends of Faith. What does tonight mean to you?
Wow, I haven't had a chance to really think about it, but right off the top of my head, it's bittersweet, definitely bittersweet. I mean, it's sweet because we've spent 20 years helping underserved women in the East Bay. It's bitter because it's coming to an end. I mean, an end somewhat. I mean, we're dissolving as a group, but her name will live on with another organization, so people can still give money and it could still go to the same place. But you know, it's been a hard 20 years to raise money with a nonprofit, but at the same time, people are still loving Friends of Faith. They want to be a part of Friends of Faith, and we will still continue, but in a different manner. All right, Friends of Faith. The walk, oh my God, I'm gonna miss the walk. I mean, that's something that we look forward to every year, and maybe it will resurrect itself in a different form, but you know, things that are wonderful have to change, and we're changing with the times, but Friends of Faith will live on forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, Faith's spirit lives on with us forever.
Yes.
What do you remember about our dear friend?
Oh my God, her laugh.
I say her laugh was like champagne bubbles.
Next, her love of champagne.
Yes.
That I'm waiting to go get right now. But her laugh, her spirit, and her love of champagne, and the fact that she cared about everybody. She really did. She wasn't fake. She was the real deal.
Of course. It's always an honor to talk with Dennis Richmond, veteran broadcaster, and also a friend of Faith Fancher's. Let's talk about
I love
Faith.
Faith and I did so many events together, and it was always a pleasure when she walked in the room would light up.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Faith Fancher.
You know, even when she was ill, she would come in and, you know, people would go, Faith, how you doing? Faith, how you doing? She would say, leave me alone. I mean, you know Faith.
Right.
You know, she didn't go for the sympathy thing.
Yes.
She said, let's, you know, and she'd do her story, and, you know, and she would come in almost up to the last moment.
Yes.
And do her stories. She was tough. Faith touched so many people. It's hard to say what the impact was. She just touched everyone's heart. And that channel too, people held her almost in reverence because she just seemed to be so brave and so strong that, you know, people fed off that. And I mean, it was just an amazing time for all of us.
And being here tonight, what does this mean for you?
Well, it means another chance to honor Faith. And, you know, you don't want to skip any of those chances. You don't want to miss any of those chances to honor Faith Fancher. She was wonderful. And we miss her. I miss her.
Yes. I'm Janice Edwards. Here on Bay Area Vista, we love to talk with people who make positive contributions to our community. And this particular segment is called our Bay Area Vista Uplifting Spotlight, focusing on Lyft driver Erin Kennedy. Erin, what a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, certainly. Now, you began driving with Lyft in the beginning. So tell me what those days were like.
It was a big adventure. Everyone really truly became my friend. I was their new friend with a car. I have been in the design industry for about 15 years up to that point, and commissioned sales rep, and recently divorced with 3 kids, and I needed to find a way to supplement my income. And I was already out and about in the Bay Area every day, so if there was a way to make that happen and I could bring in some additional money, that would be amazing. Having the additional source of income has been unbelievable, because now I've got my oldest graduated from college.
Congratulations.
My middle is still in college, and my youngest is getting ready to finish. And it just having the flexibility and another way to have money coming in on my hours, on my irregular schedule, has been fantastic.
You mentioned that you remember Faith Fancher, the KTVU reporter, who was very public with her battle and tragically lost her battle. And as a matter of fact, you had volunteered with Friends of Faith at one point.
Yes, I remember her speaking about her battle on air, and I remember also the fundraisers that were happening after she had passed away, and I was very moved, and I wanted to volunteer if I could, and I just thought that the cause that she was standing for was amazing. I mean, nobody wants to go through that, and it seems like she had so many wonderful colleagues that were also willing to help fundraise for breast cancer awareness, which is amazing.
What's the longest ride that you've ever given a passenger?
Oh my goodness. The longest ride was to Santa Barbara from SFO.
Wow.
There was someone who was desperately needing to get to a parent-teacher conference, and it was very important, and I'm a parent, so I get it, I understand. We got to talk for the next 5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
But she was very, very thankful and very gracious, and that it was a wonderful ride. It was a beautiful day.
And so she got to the conference on time?
She got to her parent-teacher conference on time, yes.
Wow.
And every time I get in my car to do this on my own time, it is one big adventure after the next.
And on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco, I want to say welcome. But before I say welcome, I want to say thank you. 20 years. And I have met some of these women who this organization have supported, women who've needed something as small as gas money to be able to go back and forth to the hospital. Women who just needed an extra $1 or $2 to get someone to help and assist them when they were sick. This organization has touched so many lives, and to hear the stories will bring tears to your eyes. I know that's why many of you are here today. 20 years, an amazing legacy. On behalf of the City and County of San Francisco, on the 20th anniversary, to give it this last hurrah celebration and to have a good time. Hey, Renel. Hey, girl. Thank you. And we honor you today. Thank you. Not yet. Oh, hey, Dennis.
We're talking with Madam President Cheri Dove. This is a very special event. Tell us about tonight.
Well, tonight is our final hurrah for Friends of Faith, and we are raising money for the Women's Cancer Research Center, and we're really excited. We've had 20 years of wonderful bliss, and we're really excited for the event tonight.
Good evening. Barbara and Pam and the whole group have been doing such extraordinary work in support of this, and when Barbara asked me if I would come, my schedule was a little wonky, but when it turned out that I could be here, I'm really happy to be here. My wife, Nashme, is in the yellow, standing there. Really, really happy and honored to be a part of this. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
And
We're talking with actor Delroy Lindo. It's wonderful to see you here tonight.
Thank you.
Why did you feel it was important to be here?
Because I am a friend and admirer of Barbara Rodgers, and I know that this is an organization that Barbara has been centrally involved with for many years. And my son and I did the walk probably 3 years ago, but every year since then I've been out of town. So this evening it worked out with my schedule to be here. And I also should mention Pam Moore. I have huge admiration for the two of them, and so it was really an honor to be able to come and participate with this.
Yes, well, thank you so much. As one of the founding members of Friends of Faith, really appreciate your support for the organization.
Sure.
And being here tonight, as you've heard the different tributes, what will you take away from the evening?
Organizations doing this kind of work, and I actually have a friend who has worked with the organization who is a cancer survivor, and I know the difference that it made in her life from personal experience. And so if you extrapolate that out to all the women, the people that this organization helped, it's immeasurable. So I just feel good to be a part of it.
Well, we're honored to have you here. Tell us about what's going on and what's upcoming for you in terms of work and projects.
Oh, okay. There is a television series called The Good Fight, which is on CBS. We did our first season last year, and there's a film called Malicious that's coming out, and a film called Lithium that I just finished that I'm assuming will come out next year.
Well, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for your inspiration with the work that you do.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
God bless you too.
Thank you.
Barbara Rodgers, congratulations on this evening. Tell me your thoughts about the significance of tonight.
Well, I think really, you know, when you look back at 1997 when this all started and how we all thought that Faith was going to be carrying this organization for years to come, and we never thought we would be the ones to take over. And yet we found ourselves in that position when she died. So really the significance of this is how well we did. I mean, it's not to pat myself on the back or any of the rest of us, but given the fact that we had never set out to start a nonprofit, the fact that we had never thought we were going to be doing this, for us to be doing it 20 years later, I think is quite an achievement and quite a tribute to Faith and her legacy, and also her energy that she infused us with and the spirit that hovered over us.
We're talking with Bill Drummond, Faith's husband. And Bill, it's wonderful to see you. Let's talk about this 20th anniversary and your thoughts about this evening.
I keep asking myself, where has all the time gone? Oh, it's so fantastic to see all of the people, or many of the people from the time when this first got started. I think a lot about Faith and her contribution, her memory. Even though the organization is not going to be a standalone anymore, I think all of her good works are going to go on. Nowadays, it's standard for athletic events and companies and all of that to be involved with cancer research, particularly breast cancer research. I remember when we were doing the stuff with the athletics and the San Francisco Giants, nobody else was doing that. Now it's commonplace. But she was a trailblazer. She was a wonderful woman, and I was so grateful to have 20 years with her.
Tell me about when you two first met. What do you remember about that time, and how did it happen?
We first met when we both worked at National Public Radio. Faith worked at National Public Radio. She got there before I did. I got there in 1979, and she was one of the reporters in the Washington Bureau, and I got hired as an editor. I was an editor, and as it turned out, she was one of the people that I occasionally had to edit her stories. And that's how we first got to know each other. And later she told me she was really intimidated because I had this reputation. I was from the LA Times and all this stuff. So she was a very easy edit. On the other hand, she knew more about broadcasts, about radio, than I ever did, because I was a straight ahead, dead red print guy. So I was intimidated in working with her. And we both had gone through divorces. Hey, that's life. And next thing we know, we were dating, and one thing led to another, and we were together for more than 20 years.
Tell me about Faith as a stepmom.
You know, it's interesting because my parents had divorced, and I was prepared to hate Faith. And so, you know, for the first probably year or so, I was kind of, you know, standoffish. But, you know, anyone who's known Faith, I mean, you cannot be, she's just not going to let you do that.
Right.
And so over the course of the years, we ended up being really great friends. And I felt like she was really not really a stepmother. It was kind of like we were sisters because she was only about, you know, 15 years older than me.
What do you treasure most in terms of the memories of her?
I think Faith's strength when she was diagnosed with this illness, and just the whole way and her whole attitude about the way that she approached it really gave me some sense of her character. She said something I thought very interesting at one point, which was that she felt that having breast cancer, she said it was in a way kind of a twisted gift because it made her realize, you know, what really was important in her life. And I know that that translated even into her relationship with my father, because he told me at one point, you know, couples go through all kinds of issues. But once that happened, he told me, you know, all of the foolishness kind of that couples go through was put aside. And then you just get to sort of the essence of what the relationship is and what, you know, the actual real love is. And that's where your focus is.
We've been looking back and remembering so many wonderful events that we've sponsored, how many of you have been there, how we've raised more than $3 million.
Rita Williams, of course, is known for her work at KTVU, as well as being a board member of Friends of Faith and a dear friend of Faith Fancher's. I love your necklace. It's just a beautiful memory. Tell me about working with Faith.
Oh gosh, Faith and I went through a lot of things. You know,
Yes.
and early women in broadcasting wasn't always easy. And so we bonded early and shared so many things, and including, of course, her fight for against breast cancer. I can still hear her laugh, though. I'm the one that coaxed Dennis out of retirement tonight to co-MC this VIP event, and we've been laughing. I can just see the three of us in the newsroom eating Miss Lillian's peach cobbler. Her mother, Miss Lillian, would make this dynamite peach cobbler, and Faith would be in there with her great laugh and her big smile. And I can still, it just echoes through, I can hear her here. She's with us. And Faith going public with her battle was very unusual back then.
After asking people, you know, the most intimate questions about their lives, I thought this is my chance to step up and make a difference.
And she didn't care that she had a bald head or what she looked like. She didn't care that the camera was there. She wanted people to know what it was really like to fight breast cancer.
So in 2008, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. About a week after I was diagnosed, the company I work with ripped our entire department, so I found myself unemployed. In 2009, several surgeries, a second breast cancer diagnosis. One day I looked up and realized that my rent needed to be paid and I didn't have any money. So I want you to know that that month, the Faith Fancher Breast Cancer Emergency Fund paid my rent. So I didn't have to worry about a roof over my head that month.
As a lifetime Oaklander, I had the pleasure of watching Faith Fancher on the news, watching her brave journey. I do want to recognize especially Darlene Martini, we call her, who first really familiarized me with Friends of Faith when we worked together at the Port of Oakland. You are an incredible community. So I want you to have another cocktail.
Don't drive.
Whatever check you are planning to write, double it. And continue to support, because we all know that there is not equity in healthcare.
We are talking with Gerry Dove. Of course, we're always glad to talk with him because he's a dear friend as well as someone who has had incredible impact in the Bay Area through his contributions in radio. Gerry, nice to see you.
Good to see you, and thank you for your kind words, Janice.
And we were talking with the lovely Cheri Dove earlier.
My wife.
Your wife.
Yes.
And so she's president of Friends of Faith.
Yes.
And I obviously you knew Faith, and tell me about what this means for you tonight.
You know what, 20 years ago I was at a different radio station when I first met Faith, and we were doing a lot of fundraisers for her. She was the sweetest, nicest person. Loved her champagne, loved to party, but just the nicest person. Such a positive influence on everybody that she touched. You gotta love her.
What is your hope for people who are battling cancer?
Well, as a person who is kind of dealing with some cancer myself, I would hope that these people who have turned out will tell 10 friends to continue to help people that are dealing with cancer. It's just, we need your help, we need your prayers, and we need you to be with us all the time to talk about how we can find a cure or just keep people going.
We are talking with renowned attorney John Burris, who was also a good friend of Faith Fancher's. John, talk about Faith.
Faith was a very, very special lady, not only as a news reporter, but became friends over a period of time. I loved her enthusiasm, her excitement for life. I got a big kick out of her trying to get stories from me that I wasn't trying to give her, and that she would ultimately get it. Because of her, I have been most happy to participate in the Friends of Faith fundraising activity in breast cancer. It has been a real source of enjoyment for me. I've participated in many of the walkathons with a lot of different costumes that have been hilarious, but woefully very much fun.
We want to celebrate, instead of the Faith Fancher Breast Cancer Challenge, which everyone calls the walk, we're doing this.
Yes, and hi Dan Ashley, who has played at our walk several times with his band Push.
We are so honored to have KGO's Dan Ashley here tonight. Thank you for being here, Dan. Tell us, and you're in the pink, 20 Shades of Pink.
One of my favorite shirts.
That's great.
It's great to be here. You know, Faith Fancher was such a beloved member of the media community, as you well know. And I remember her as being such an elegant woman and such a great, dedicated journalist. And I think this legacy would make her so proud. And I'm really honored to have been a part of it for a number of years.
Carolyn Tyler, of course, known from KGO TV, but also a founding member of Friends of Faith. We are sisters in that. Carolyn, your thoughts about this evening?
Well, it's a bittersweet evening. You've probably heard other people talk about that. We love Faith so much, and we're so proud to have carried on in her name for 20 years, and now to be saying farewell. It's hard. It's kind of heartbreaking, but on the other hand, we wanted a chance to thank all of our donors and our supporters and people who've helped us raise so much money over the years, and also as they say, I guess in Hawaii, it's not just aloha, it's aloha, because we'll still be around through the Women's Cancer Resource Center. They're going to keep the Faith Fancher Breast Cancer Emergency Fund. So her legacy lives on, and we will continue doing good works.
Yes.
So think of this as her birthday party tonight, everybody, okay? Yay!
And
All
she
right.
would have been 67 years old. So here's to Faith, forever young. We love you.
To Faith, everybody, raise them up!
Heather, thank you for the work that you did tonight honoring Faith Fancher's memory and Friends of Faith. What does it mean for you to be here?
You know, I think events like this and organizations like this are really what make the Bay Area what it is. It's people coming together to help those who are underserved. And I work with a breast cancer organization that benefits from Friends of Faith. So it's the least I could do to be here to celebrate this.
All the proceeds that we hosted tonight, all the money we raised, goes to the Women Cancer Resource Center, and we are so proud to be here tonight to present you with a $20,000 check with more to come. Once we get everything situated and balanced and collect all the money, we've got more money to come tonight. So thank you. That's $40,000 for tonight and more to come.
Pam Moore, known from Cron 4 and a founding member of Friends of Faith and one of the organizers of tonight. How do you feel?
Other than exhausted, quite proud. We had a great turnout tonight, but of course the cause is still keeping Faith Fancher's legacy alive, and we're doing that at the Women's Cancer Resource Center. As you know, Janice, We have the Faith Fancher Breast Cancer Emergency Fund, which Faith set up. She set that fund up, and we have continued to contribute to it. And tonight, we were able to donate $40,000, honoring our 20 years in service in her name. So how can I not feel good about that, even though I'm tired?
Yes, well, congratulations. It's wonderful.
Well, as a former board member, congratulations to you.
Well, I'm excited too, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm so honored to be a founding member for 15 years, working together, working with you and everyone here. So I'm very excited, and it's such a wonderful legacy. Faith Fancher was an amazing person, and her spirit uplifted our community. On our Bay Area Vista Uplifting Spotlight, we are featuring a Lyft driver who is having a positive impact on the lives of others. Here on Bay Area Vista, we love to share stories about people who are having a positive impact in our community because of their spirit and their service. We call them our uplifting spotlights. And today we are talking with Lyft driver Damian Rose. Damian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Yes. Well, you have an awesome spirit, and that's one of the
Thank you.
things that I hear is that you have had such a tremendous impact as a Lyft driver. So tell me how it started for you.
Actually, it started, I was actually in the financial sector. So I was a financial advisor. And so I actually took some time back because I was just working so much. I was actually in the office at 3 in the morning to a lot of times at 12 at night. And so being married, my wife was just saying, honey, you're spending a little too much time. So I needed to take a step back and really put my focus on what I really need to focus on, which was school. And I promised my mom that I was going to go and get my master's. And then so now what I did was I said, during this time, I said, you know what, let me try Lyft. If I had to really put it in a nutshell, it was the fact of the matter that Lyft gave me the ability that even though that, we get paid by driving, but it gave me the ability to be able to take a step back and really focus on what I really needed to focus on was my family.
You have a ministry
Yes,
as
I
well. Who taught you these values?
That comes from my mom and my dad. My dad, before my dad passed, he says, you know what? He says, son, sorry. He said this, it's not about how many people you know before you pass, it's how many people you've been a blessing to before you die. When I look at every time that I get inside the car, my main thing is to make sure I'm saving these people, making sure that I'm getting them to their destination. And I want to make sure that I take care of them.
And that's our show. I'm Janice Edwards. What an incredible celebration. I'm so glad we were able to share it. Thank you for all that you do to make our world a better place. Please join us again next time. We look forward to seeing you then.
What a wonderful night this has been. Such a fitting tribute to the life and legacy of such a caring and courageous woman. One more round of applause for Miss Faith Fancher.